Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers, on my left, if you have prayed your salah, can you please come towards the right? So sisters, they might want to come over there. Jazakallah khair. May I request everyone to please take a seat? The program is about to start.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. That's fine. Alhamdulillah, I'm pleased to be here to talk about mental health. What is mental health? Uh, so we would like to learn about So what exactly is mental health and what are mental health issues?
You want to use this?
Yeah. So first of all, what is mental health? A mind which is capable of solving problems like intelligence. Average intelligence, below intelligence is not a mental health problem. Even below intelligence is fine. High intelligence, ability to cope, ability to create adjustment with the environment, ability to navigate his or her behavior and emotions and the thought process. So these are the signs of mental health. Proper sleep, decision making, able to interact with others properly. So that means our mental health is fine. And we are, productive as well. We are fulfilling responsibilities. So that gives us idea like our mental health is fine. What is the difference between when mental health is under crisis? For example, if our performance and ability to make decisions affect, and we feel difficulty to cope with the situation, our anxiety, our fear, our focus, concentration, they start giving us problem. Our sleep can have negative effect. Our diet, appetite can change. And our relationship. So there's a bitterness coming in the relationship. That gives us idea like it's the beginning of some mental health crisis and problem. Or because this topic is quite big, So in this short time, I will try to make it simple as much as we can get out of it. So, like our health concerns, sleep pattern change, our emotional pattern change, they become, out of control. We feel more than like we are failed, and we go back, we withdraw, we become disconnected. So these are the signs, like those are mental health problems. And you all guys also know there are severe problems like perception disorder. Somebody perception has changed. For example, the eyes are showing something which doesn't exist. The ears are making sounds which doesn't exist, so and so forth. So they are serious mental health issues. We will not cover those. We will cover what we in our daily life we can utilize the information today we will talk about. So I will try to explain like the problems related to children, then related to adolescents, then adults. What kind of issues and how they generate. And towards the end, I will try to spend more time for like what is the solution, what we can do. And then we can do question answer. That will be quite interesting when you guys will ask questions, so it will be very helpful. So what kind of mental health issues we see in children? We see like very famous ADHD. Their focus ability, their ability to concentrate starts changing. So they try to focus, their mind drifts from the task. They don't do that intentionally. This is not behavioral problem. This is not in their will or in their control. They are not doing this by by negative attitude. This is coming from the brain. Like they are unable to concentrate and focus. So lack of concentration cause gaps, and it causes problems in the working memory. What is working memory? Working memory is a child is solving a problem. So in between, he or she is unable to go step by step. So the healthy mind, the mind doesn't have problems, so it's not very difficult to go step by step and solve the problem once somebody has already learned. So with ADHD, their mind drifts off, wanders a lot because of the changes in the frontal area of the brain. So research has found the biological marker, excessive slow brain waves, delta and theta waves in the frontal area, they cause attentional problems. Now those attentional problems are not only in children. They also can go to the adults. So in adult life, ADHD problems are also again concentration, focus, impulsivity, like jumping into the conclusions, unable to decide. So they have unfortunately more accidents. They cannot control. Their inhibition is marginal. They are try to do things. They don't like unstructured work. They have only ability to do structured work, so and so forth. So that is ADD, attentional related problems. So that is basically neurological problem. In children, learning disabilities, so they are very fine in some other subjects, but they have difficulty in one subject. So they have one kind of learning disability. So that is also neurological problem. Yes, there are some emotional problems in children. They are learned problems. They have learned, from environment. So those can be addressed as well as accordingly. So I will talk about solutions later on. So in adolescence, more it's related to the social problems, social adjustment, issues with friends, bullying, adjustment, being isolated, not being accepted in the group. So these are common factors, especially 11, 12, 13 years of age. So they take it quite seriously. So not everyone becomes mentally disturbed. Only those who have some genetic transmission as well. By birth, some children have low LFT, level of frustration tolerance biologically. But it can be retrained in the environment. It can be strengthened and increase level of frustration tolerance. Frustration is an inevitable phenomena of life. But some children, they are able to tolerate it. Some are not. They go in extreme behaviors. So that LFT is also underlying, plus their environment, the home environment, the early attachments with parents, that plays a very important role. Is a youngster is attached with any one of the parent, even one single person in the family is enough to having good attachment and close attachment and trust with that person. That solves the problem. But sometimes, if they cannot, so it's not only parental issues. It can be that individual issue, or it can be vice versa. Right? So that individual has some capacity issues, some ability issue, or more prone towards negativity. So these are adolescents related more concerns. Their emotional regulation is very problematic, and their school performance starts dropping, and they are highly intelligent. And just before they were fine, they had good grades, but they go down because of their adjustment issues. So, these bullying or inclusiveness with their friends, ability to make friends. So lack of these things develop their sense of worthlessness, and they feel more negative and dejected. So the depression kind of thing can come in. So the depression does not have much strong genetic transmission, but anxiety has. Anxiety runs in families, especially body symptoms are heart racing, mind racing, cold sweating, easily frustrated, stomach related issues, digestive issues, sleep issues. So these are, they can run in families. And associated with anxiety, some other issues like panics. There are sudden symptoms of all of these symptoms at once. So those called a panic attack. And in that attack, unfortunately, the person starts believing like maybe he or she is dying. So that panic gives them that kind of idea. Maybe they are going to die, although it's not a fatal disease, but they feel like it. So panic attacks, obsessions. Obsession is another problem, which is very, I consider very rigid problem. OCD, like obsessive compulsive disorder. Like they have, going through some thoughts which are very repetitive, and they are very, again and again the same thought unless they act on it, and they have to act sometimes many times. So their life becomes terribly disturbed with the OCD, because If it is contamination, so they take long time for shower or even wudu, or if they have organized, so they keep hours and hours spending on organizing things, so and so forth. So these are anxiety related issues. So those in relationship problems, that is the big issue. That's a vast area of relationship. Unfortunately, we have not learned, many of us, what exactly how to relate with other people. Unfortunately, with my experience of 35 years of working in this field, so I noticed and I learned that the relatability is very marginal. We don't know the boundaries of other people. We don't know what to expect from each other. And even then communication, the choices of words, we don't know. So I mean, we know, but we don't practice. Like this is not part of, unfortunately, in our training. But some of us definitely try our best to do that. But I'm talking about in general. So relationship, plays a very important role, because relationship is a big part of the environment. So when we look at the life, so you will see everything has a relationship. Everything is in a relationship with other things. Our relationship with ourselves, like how we treat ourselves, what we consider ourselves, what is view I have about me, right? That's the relationship. My relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my relationship to the guidance of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and so and so forth. Our relation with our car, with our home, with our money, with our knowledge. So if you look at it, it's a relationship. If I have a lot of knowledge and my relationship with knowledge is so bad and I don't use it, so that is a relationship. So ability to relate properly and healthily is something really to work at it, and we, there's a definitely a room of improvement to develop relationship. So that is important in affecting our mental health. So some beliefs and cognitions I will mention, they play a very strong role in taking us away from the normal life and makes our mind more mentally challenged. Number one is, like, if we develop this thought process, all or none, like either I'm successful or I am failed. There's no between gray area. So all or none thinking can disturb eventually the personality. It can challenge the mental health condition of the person, all or none. Second, overgeneralization. So if I fail in one thing, so if I tend to generalize all of my life is failed, if somebody rejected me, so I generalize like everybody rejected me. Or if I have one problem, one health concern, so if I overgeneralize and say, oh, I am totally sick. So these thought processes, they eventually take us away from the healthy state of mind, and they can cause various mental health issues. So why I am saying this, so I would like you guys to internalize, think about it, and just correct it right away if something is going on in our mind, right? So mental filter. Our mind develops a filter. Always we try to interpret things in a specific way. So we call it like how we are interpreting the situation. For example, somebody lost the job. So it affects different people differently. So the problem is one, but it affects different people with different effects. What is the reason? Because they interpret differently to themselves. Like how they are interpreting about something happened, that matters for that person. So mental filters develop. Some people like they always think like it always happens to me, or like people are smart, I'm not. That kind of it becomes a mental filter. Next, another thought process is disqualifying the positive. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon. If some people you talk with them something positive, they don't listen. They only listen negative predominantly. Like their mind is not able to believe the positives, unfortunately. That doesn't mean there's nothing in their life positive. Maybe there are positive, they are working, functioning, but their mind tendency, they always disqualify the positive. Like something good can happen to them, or they can do something good to others. So jumping to conclusions, like mind reading, like looking at the face reading, maybe they are rejecting, they're like just as I'm assuming, like uh, jumping to conclusions. If somebody is starting talking to them about an issue, so the first impression of their face will be enough for them, and they are shut off. So they don't let the person explain and talk and communicate. So they jump to the conclusion, and they sometimes become tendency to take the words, pick the words and generalize and just conclude like I have read the mind, so I know what's going on in the mind. It's very difficult to figure out what's going on in the mind. Okay. So next is magnification or minimization. Some minds become habitual to magnify the problems. Problems are short and they are trivial problems, but they see them bigger. So that affects their, mental health. And some people minimize. The problem has started, they think it's like totally like negative, nothing to do about it. Ignorance, like they minimize it, although the problem is, so that tendency is also very common. When unfortunately it converts into a heart problem or other problems, severe problems, then they have to take action. So immobilization, because of this tendency of minimizing, affects them to suffer more, unfortunately. Maybe in the beginning, if this tendency was not there, so they could have done something better and change their lifestyle, learn some few skills, healthy skills, and things would have been maybe delayed. The problem might have been delayed or less severe, or less suffering during the years passing by. So their performance is fine. So that minimization is a problem. Emotional reasoning. So I have found we have not learned to differentiate intellectual decisions and emotional decisions. We mix them. Some of us becomes totally emotional decision maker. And you will heard this vocabulary, oh, I feel like this. Oh, I feel this. They even don't say I think, although they are thinking, but they become habitual, and their mind thinks like in more emotional connotation, emotional emotional touch into it. So some decisions, some situations are not emotional. They are purely intellectual. intellectual. But when we, bring the emotions in it, so it becomes difficult to solve. A math question, I'm just give one example. A math question is emotional decision? No. It's an intellectual job, right? So some other things are emotional. Relationship, husband-wife relationship, specific relationship is an emotional relationship. It's not an intellect. If we put intellect into it, so it will be disturbed. So these are some examples. So emotional decisions and intellectual decisions. Labeling and mislabeling. Should is very common. I should be excellent in everything. I should be performing perfect. I should get respect. People should respect me. So this strong should can cause challenge to mental health. So the lower the should, there's better chances of mental health. Right? I should be performing very well. So wherever the should will be strong, the consequence we will start looking at catastrophic. Like if I am not respected, it is terrible for me because my should is very strong. So what we can think is like, it is better if I get respect. But if I don't, I can still keep on working or I can still stand with it. But sometimes this should, like my income should be this way. My family member should behave this way. My child should behave this way. So very strong should brings very strong emotions. So we feel frustrated strongly and anger because our should is very strong. They should obey me. They should do the right way. They should get this marks and there's a strong should. So I would say very clearly, like the should mentality, it can quickly lead to mental health problem. So we really need to focus that it and make that should less strong and manageable. So as we know, like there's a lot of statistics. Like the issue is, unfortunately, expanding the mental health crisis. So, what are the factors? Genetic factors, environmental factors, personal factors, family, and nowadays, like this technology. So all the world around news and all that, they affect our life. And, they are kind of convincing ourselves like you cannot be successful. Whoever you are is just a number. The concept of self-worth is under attack. And eventually, like, and I see in my practice, like our worth get attached to how much money. The way bank see us, of course, they will see how much money we have, but that is not for our personal life. We cannot start perceiving ourselves worthy with the money, with the knowledge, with the things we have, how appreciation we have. No, those are not. Self-worth is human worth is separate. What is human worth, basically? So I have thought about it. So we have three major portions in our personality. One is body, right? The second is mind, And the third is soul. We have a soul. So when we say I, to who I am saying? I just as body, or I just as mind, or I just, a soul? Anybody would like to answer? Like when we say I, to who we address, to who we are basically saying and pointing. Yeah, three of that same time. But what is the basic part of the being? Mind, soul. So in my view, also, not in my view, it is soul basically. That are we. Why? Because we were somewhere, we are here now, and we will go somewhere. So that soul won't finish, won't die. So that basically human being is. Then our soul has mind and body. Our soul has mind and body. Little bit, I think, a faulty training we have. Like our soul is in the body. Soul has body. Soul has mind. Now, mind is creating, say, for example, all kind of thinking. And for example, mind is sick for some reason. So we will say, I am sick. Generally we say. But we are not sick. Our mind is sick. Because I am not only my mind. If I am only my mind, so I think all kind of thinking. I am capable in one thing, I am totally incapable on another thing. That's my mind. My mind has so many thoughts, negative, positive, excellent thoughts, healthy thoughts, unhealthy thoughts, all kind of trainings I have. That's all in my mind. That cannot be me. Like at the same time I am excellent and at the same time I am zero in something else. That's what we are all. So we are soul. We have mind. So if mind has a problem, that doesn't mean I am sick. Now, soul can also pervert. How? When soul starts believing something wrong, right for me. When I start believing and thinking and start using something wrong, but I make that okay for me, my soul will start perverting. So that can be correctable. As soon as we leave the wrong things, so it can come back and it can heal up. Similarly, mind can also think. So I get this problem like negative thinking, positive thinking. So the mind's job is negative thinking, thinking job is the mind's job. So mind thinks all kind of thinking. Now, I want to present another perspective to you guys and will ask your opinion. Everything has been given to us. We have not made anything of us. Not me. I didn't made myself. I didn't made my parents. I don't make my food. I don't make my food. We have knowledge to grow how to grow the food and then we eat it. We don't make it. We have knowledge and we don't create knowledge. Knowledge is also have been given to us. So everything has been given to us. What is one responsibility only we have? That is our responsibility. Only one. What is that? Sorry? Right. Right. Yes. Yeah. So the knowledge of life is has all been always given is all has all has also given to us how to live, how to do how to do things, how to drive, how to write a computer program, how to teach, how to help for health problems, so and so forth. All these are knowledge has been given to us. So we have only one responsibility. What is that? We have only responsibility of choosing. We don't do anything else because we don't have ability to make things happen. No. We just choose and it starts happening. This choice is so dynamic, keeps on changing. And as soon as we change, that starts. Like if you want to go this way, in a 1 second you say, "No, I want to go this way." So you will go this way. So as soon as your mind is so dynamically choosing things, even language is a choice. We might have a vocabulary of thousands of words, but right now we are talking just few words because this situation, what we are talking, the topic and everything, we are choosing. Our mind is choosing for us what to say, what not to say, right? So language is also a choice. So negative thinking, positive thinking, it's a choice. We don't need different eyes, different brain, or different food, or different degree or money to go from negative thinking to the positive thinking. It's a choice. So now there's a two levels. The turf, the main ground is negative. And then somebody is walking on the turf which is totally negative, and then that person has both thoughts, positive, negative. Another person walking on a positive turf and having both negative, positive thoughts. So this is better. Having main surface, main ground, positive, and then of course we will have positive, negative thoughts. So if it is profoundly negative, so then if you can imagine, and in Canada sometimes I have to tell my clients, so seems like we have everything. We have food, we have shelter, we have clothes, we have health, we have, let's say we have everything. But we are not happy. We are so stressful, or depressed, or negative. So, because maybe the choice. The choice is, ongoing monitoring. It's so dynamic. It keeps changing. And we have to consistently choose the right things. For example, achieving the goal and setting goals and pursuing that. So these are a few things which I wanted to explain. And the problem is unfortunately increasing. 1 in 5 people in Canada, may have or will have a mental health problem. Youngsters, they have their statistics as well. So now I would like any questions. If you ask any question, so I can go further. Any question? Yes, please. Hmm. 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 Right. Hmm. Right. Yeah. So absolutely. The company and the friends, and here we will have to add the family members, right? So it's also a small group. So how can we make our small group better? First of all, we have to make ourselves improved, our thinking improved, and our emotions particularly, because they have gone so tall on us, and intellect is a little bit behind, and emotions are more ahead. We easily get frustrated and angry, and we want things immediately. I want to say one thing about emotions: how to regulate emotions better. Negative emotions, positive emotions, both emotions are whose emotions? Our emotion. My frustration is my emotion. My sadness, my joy, my happiness, my excitement is my. All these emotions are whose? Mine. But when we feel negative emotion, we don't we tend to behave as if they are not our emotion. We want to kick that out. We say this a shaitan came in. I mean that's a reality. So I will come after this explanation. So emotions uh, are our emotions. First of all, we need to own them. Whatever I am feeling, for example, I am frustrated, so I need to accept, take the ownership. This is my frustration. Secondly, be here. Don't be anywhere. I don't want to kick that out my anger. Why you are here? Why I'm angry? Ownership, because my anger cannot go and live another body. I cannot kick that out, right? So it's my emotion. So I will tell the anger, okay, be here. Now, anger to a normal threshold is helpful. It's okay, it's healthy. Beyond that normal threshold, it's problematic. The only problem is not anger. The only problem is to keep it to the normal threshold. That's it. So when we get frustrated being angry, we want to kick that out. We don't take ownership. So most probably it goes up. Then when we do that behavior to our anger, so it doesn't listen us then. So if we want our anger to listen us, so first of all, accepting and letting be anger in my body, because that is anger's home. Right? That's where the anger will stay. So, and not trying to kind of get rid of it. Then it will listen us, and then we say the anger, okay, come down to the below threshold. So I'm not touching the thinking part, analysis, thinking, that is another part, but that's what we can do to our strong emotions. To make them listen us, first, ownership, accepting it, letting them be within me, don't ready to, so frustrated to get rid of it. Then, they will listen us, they will come down. And if they are below the threshold, normal threshold, they are fine. Because they cannot be zero. Anger, frustration, they cannot be zero. So that was about emotion. So this gentleman talked about, so there are two kind of influences we have. Major. One, influence of my own choices. That influence me. Whose choices? My own choice influence me. Right? And the second influence we get, other people's choice. What they are choosing. What words they are choosing, what actions they are choosing. They influence us. So the problem starts when we get too much influence of other people's choices, what others are doing. Some people are becoming very successful and it start influencing me. Some people failing, it start influencing me. If that influence goes very high, so believe me, we start feeling lost. So we feel lost. Then what fill in the gap? Negative emotion fills the gap. Easy to feel depressed. Easy to feel anxious. So negative emotions are very easy to feel. No much effort is required. Frustration, right away we can feel frustration. Oh, happiness, it takes effort to bring happiness. So, the influence of the environment and other people's choices, if it is too much on me, the way people talk to me, the words they use, how they are responding to my request, or so and so forth, if that has too much influence on me, I will feel lost. And the gap will be filled by anger or negative emotions. What is the solution? Self-trust. Trust of my own choices more than the choices of other people. We cannot cut off that influence of other people. But as you said, the friends. So if we give full control to the friends, so then they will decide, and I cannot function without their influence. So I think the balance is more influence of my own choices and less influence of other people's choices. So I see in youngsters, all this bullying and adjustment issues in the school, especially starts with friends, small groups, because they are taking so much influence over their choices. So if we train our children these perspectives, these things, so at least they will be better equipped to handle the situation. Of course, they will feel a little bit frustrated still, but I believe it will be to the normal threshold. And that's what they need. Because, substance use and so forth, so they are also very eminent dangers are there, out there. So equipping, our children, at least it can give us confidence, like they can handle the situation most of the time. So influence of our own choices is requires more. Secondly, control. Another thing is control. Who is controlling me more? Media. Right? So let's say, like, many people like controlled by money. So it's an environmental thing. But it has a lot of control of us, although it's related to our needs. So that is fact as well. It's not totally wrong. But too much control, only the issue is like not the amount. It's not the issue is like why we are controlled by money. The issue is like we are too much controlled by money. It has too much influence on us. And our values has less control on us, less influence on us. So then our mental health will be, in a problem. So the main control of my thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors, emotions needs to be here, and minor outside. Then we will be balanced. If it is more outside, minor inside, the balance will be not attainable. Because environment is changing and it has everything. Environment has variety of things. So our stability will be always a question. But we can attain stability of emotions when we have major control of our thoughts and emotions here and minor outside. So these are. So how much time still we have? Okay. So any other question, please? So how can we, make our life better, and how can we enjoy our life better now? That is very important question. How can we use our time? So I think we need to a little bit think about it, like what exactly, because as a believer, we believe like our creation is a purposeful creation. It's not a purposeless creation. All of us, every one of us, has been created for a purpose, and that purpose we may know or may not know. So I think it is very important to know what is the purpose of my life, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me, right? So I mean, there can be a process. Many people can help each other to find the purpose. There's a way, some consistency of things, some tendencies, something excites, something gives you a soul satisfaction, and some are very common purposes that has always given to us, already given to us in Quran and Hadith. So many purposes have already prepared purposes are given to us. We don't have to even worry too much about that. But we think like they are separate, and our purposes are separate. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants our alignment. I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only wants alignment with His purpose. Yeah. Now the ibadat is a broad concept. If I'm doing business with honesty and with purity and so it's ibadat. And namaz, I mean, those are ibadas, very well known ibadat. But if we are spending time to build myself at home, in my room, and if I'm listening and learning something to build myself, it's what? Because the only person I'm responsible for, the first is me, to make myself valuable, better, healthy, effective. So then second person starts, first me. And if I am not making and helping myself, so that's not a ibadah then. So even starting working on our own self. So now another difficulty. We spend almost whole life being attached to something which we have not done in 30 years, and we have a plan we will do. Long-term plans, no action. Just thinking, I will do one day. So we are attached to that idea and totally immobilized. Some of us are so much strongly attached to some idea, they don't create any other idea. And they keep on thinking, they are attached to that idea, but they don't take action. They take half-hearted action. And even the results are not in our control. We are only to start the process. Alone or with somebody, whatever the goal we have, from small to big, whatever capacity we have, whatever opportunity we have. So if we are just started, even very small, it means we are working on our purpose. And there are then two things. One, situation is in our control. We have control on those things. And another group of things which we don't have control. So this wisdom is very lacking, unfortunately, to know the difference. And Christianity, they have very famous prayer. Like, God grant me serenity to know the difference between what I can, what I can't. So we most of the time jump into the things which are not in our control. For example, other people's opinions. I think, like, if there's a shop, even advertising and everything, you make people get into that shop, but you cannot force them to decide to buy. You cannot, no matter what. Isn't that right? So who will make those people to decide to? It's in the control of, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the point is, like, we are attached to certain things which are, we have to review them and we need to, leave them. Leaving things is very important, but we don't do that. We don't leave ideas. We stick to our old ideas. We think that's what I am. Oh, that's what I am. Oh, I will do cherish. One day I will open this. One day I will do that. I mean, that's the human brain, human mind. Little bit plays tricks to us. Like something happens in imagination, and it's a good thing as well. Or something happens in reality. It has almost equal effect on us. Like if we close our eyes and squeeze a lemon on our tongue, so we will start salivation, right? I mean, just imagine. Or we use in many ways imagination and benefit out of it. It's very, very important skill of our brain to imagine. People, those who are depressed, they imagine negative picture. Their mind keeps the picture of the future vague, maybe dark, maybe not getting through, obstacles, all these, that's the picture. That makes them depressed. So I can't do that. Nothing can happen better. Why try? I won't be successful. So changing the picture of the mind is something the brain, those who have a slightly brighter picture of the future, hopes are there. There are possibilities of happening things the way they want to. Not 100%, but they are not depressed. Because I think maybe 99% of people sitting here, we are not depressed as far as clinical depression is concerned. Because our brains are holding pictures which creates hope. And by the way, being believer, we have only one option. That is only hope. Disappointment is no option. Why? We are not owner of anything. We are just spending a time, and how we are spending a time, that matters. What we will end up having or not, it doesn't matter much. We afraid of so much poverty. But you guys know how much our prophet was going through. It means it's not a bad thing otherwise. Because it's not the human value. But today's world, this setup in which now humans are going through, the setup is like, money has the most important role, yeah. But why I'm talking this? Because we need to have a view in our mind. If something happens to me, it can happen now. Anxiety, fear, or depression, frustration, anger. Everybody has problem. Everybody has anxiety. Everybody has problem. Let's talk that way. Who is among us or any person doesn't have a problem? Their nature can be different. So in terms of problems, we are all equal. If anxiety is in this mind or anxiety is another mind, what's the difference? Anxiety is same. Hunger is in this stomach. Hunger is another stomach. As far as hunger is concerned, it's the same. So if I'm frustrated for some reason, I'm feeling like I'm unable to be successful in one way, it's not only for us. Like everybody goes through this, off and on. So Now, another factor, very important factor. We are successful and we are not successful at the same time. We are successful in many ways and we are not successful in other ways. Same person, same me, excellent in one way, poor in another way. My one skill is excellent, other skill is average, below average. All of us, same. So, the point I'm trying to make is these are some facts about our mind, how our mind is working, how our psyche is working, how we are operating. We are operating machine, a live operating machine. And who we are is we are basically a soul. And we have mind. We are not just mind. Because myself has ability to perform high and to perform low at the same time. So then who I am, a high performer? Yes, in that one thing. I am poor performer only? No, I am high performer there at the same time. Right? So we cannot be high performer in everything. And we are not low performer in everything. We can add up skills, we can add up knowledge, we can add up capacity. Right? So soul needs to be, clean, healthy, connected to its creator. Right? Purity. Then mind will function. So mind will function everywhere. All kind of thoughts mind will produce. But we need to choose which thoughts are helpful for me, which thoughts are effective, which are non-effective. We definitely all